Life in progress. The first step into the left-hand path. Warning: this video contains information that goes against what is taught in modern society. You must keep an open mind at all times. This video contains 9 poems that will take you on a journey into a world of corruption. Along the way, you will be able to apply the knowledge within to discover a path of endless possibilities for yourself. Originate. Contributing with what lies in the air, owning a mind that appears to be open. It's the density of what's really happening, the induction of the outside, a whole new way to live. A change in the way of learning, because nothing makes sense while being controlled by your own prison of yourself. Adapt your mind to where it's capable to have a vision that you have been hiding from. Then you will see a way life has a reason for you to stay. Contrast in the world to help you understand the unexplained. And live without a name or a face. The contour shape that divides you from the ideal level. The only change to distract you from the lies of the truth. By believing in yourself. To disconnect from the prison that holds you. The change to whom you originate from everyone else. There you'll restore all the things that protect you from this so-called world and its wisdom. A chance to survive without fear to bring you down, but it will only save you if you really want to save yourself. Our existence. Are we really proud of whom we are becoming? Our short lives doesn't really give us a name for our existence. Does the importance for what we stand for really give us a real purpose? And do we really have control? Is the truth about our lives just a bunch of bullshit? Would faith protect us all? We have strength, but is it in ourselves? Does fate have any sense of direction? Because humanity seems to never learn what life considers a lesson. So what if our focus has to be changed? Will our lives ever be the same? And if it wasn't enough to be saved, will the chance ever come again? Because our success loses strength in our world, and our failures changes all that we know. So maybe life will let us go. This might be our chance to create a better method. To provide us an establishment that will show us the right way to live. What if a chance came unannounced and showed us everything, and we denied everything we saw because our ignorance seemed so much easier? Then all sorts of shit start taking control, and it all started to make sense. All the ways we lived our lives became our punishment. Suddenly everything started to come along. And everyone is still in denial. Certainly we should already have known that our conditional realization chose to cancel all creation. Our existence will then die, and then where does blame come to solve? When there's no one to blame because we are all guilty. And all the ways we could have solved, but we decided to never know. The solution to problem solving. Right and wrong is what defines the way we all think. Every choice has a reason for each decision that we make, and every decision is an action with a reaction we have to face. It's either for pleasure or it's for pain, so there's never been a single person that has acted on any decision without ever having a good enough reason. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. It made sense to them, and judgment is so persistent with the ordinance, there's no requirement to understand the human mind. They have to call in a specialist to cope with the fact that we all live different lives. Otherwise, they're ready to shoot you where you're standing and end it by saying you have crossed a line. There's so much more that we don't even know. It's not even written in their paperwork. Now we all have the numbers to build a movement. But no one seems to speak and lead now in present time. You are just too afraid to start a parade of allegiance because the judgment is so short-sighted and you are aware of every possible outcome. Well, it's time to face we are all human. There are no more mistakes as long as we are living, because all our intentions is a desire to get even and to value the beauty that life is given. It's just a way it balances out, and no one can call that an opinion because we are only human. Now if you want to call it a defeat so you can stay in your homes, well, I'm not going to take this shit. Even if I have to stand on my own, I'm going to show them that every action has a meaning and every reason is worth explaining. There's a line drawn that overrides their reasons. So let's have a war that will solve everything. Let's fight with everybody else's lives and see who's winning. It's the way it all balances out. It's the solution to problem solving. Disposable. For every life, there will be death, a continuous cycle in various ways. We are all predators attacking the prey, causing death in order to live. Adaptation, evolution, karma, and recycling will cover the entire process, and the purpose is to support the nature within. When it all began, it's survival of the strong, with billions of years holding on, rebuilding to be destroyed, a perfect design to oppose there will be an end. Existence is nature's layout to outlive, out with the old and then the new will be in, with the concept of the biodegradables consistently working to continue the revolution, because everything is disposable. Supporting the balance from being overwhelmed, otherwise life will consume itself. Adaptation, evolution, karma, and recycling is the only answer, and the purpose is to support the nature within. It's right in front of us. How can we be so blind to it? And it's obvious. As the seasons change, we can clearly see spring is a time for everything to begin. While summer allows everything to be free to live, and fall is a time for everything to change, where winter brings all the life to hibernate. Just to start all over again, supporting the balance from being overwhelmed. Awareness. Descend down into the quicksand of yourself. Invert your perception inside, then look out. Acknowledge the freedom outside by sound, and these senses links us to movement, without guidance, without restriction, and without question. The only purpose is to learn and move forward, to preserve life through your conscious, a balance of pain and pleasure, and recognize the concept of survival to nourish your instincts and desires. So experience this new world out in the wild, discovering new ways of knowing about yourself and how you fit in, with a combination of consciousness, desire, instinct, and intelligence. So see it, hear it, smell it, touch it, and taste it to enhance your awareness in the highest extent, and discover new ways by observing other life. It doesn't always have to be done your way. Move on and evolve. Just remember it's your life. It's your choice. You're in control, with an entire world to discover. Possession. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. At one time, everything was for everyone, until one day it became all yours. You put up your walls to close it in, and then gave it a name with a list of rules. This way of thinking became so contagious, soon everyone started hoarding theirs. So we might as well just fall into obsession with possessions, so it all becomes our supply and demand. Now it's raining endless debt on consumers, for those who are collecting and believing it will give them power. But this mentality won't take you anywhere. Besides turning into a slave to materials that will one day convince you that you are one, live or die over things that get left behind, if that's really considered living, and this is where it takes us. Was it all really worth it? In the end, it will continue to consume the consumer until it's all owned by only one owner. So, who are you? Because it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. At this point, it already reached inflation. We need to make a stand that this is it. There has to be destruction to get rid of all this bullshit weighing down our head. We need to think and break away from a hold possession has on everyone. Let's knock down all these walls. Let's burn everything you call your home. You're the one with everything that once belonged to everyone. How do you get such ferocity to own everything entirely? Because we all end with nothing material. Only the people that made you whole will give you any real meaning. Did you ever love anyone besides all of your possessions? So what's the point to have everything when you are left with no one? You become so empty with no reason to move on. And that would be a total destruction of your world alone. So what's the point of living when you're done on owning everything, including everyone? You've become God. The Grandest Stage. Now that I have your attention, allow me to explain the pollution of ignorance within corruption. So try to wrap yourself around with this one, because I'm going to go deep inside of your mind where it resides. And I want to expose what lies behind the curtain upon the grandest stage of religion and how it all began, starting with the 3 points ruled by manipulation. So it will remain in constant motion until the end, while a triangle will start the function of this diagram, using government and law to create the perfect foundation. And religion will become universal from support within this rotation, to become a system that's controlling an entire population who wants to live within the protection it will provide them. Because this new way of living creates weakness through disposition, leaving behind the natural way by making it forbidden, to become distracted by starting a cycle of questions. Amongst all the children who will become the next generation, to lead the way into change, when dependency creates the mentality of a slave, the perfect type of mind that you can shape. Even emotions can play a part in this game. You can say whatever you want to say, regardless whether it opposes before they came to this place. It provides a way to escape, by leading them far, far away from the wild. With the promise to compromise, leaving behind what was before, and providing everything they will need to keep them alive, but nothing is given away without labor being implied. And those who put in will partially rise, while leaving no room to disagree in the eyes of those who will leave you to die if you don't comply, allowing fear to become more complex within the fragile mind. So in order to stay alive, you will now have to pay the price, with cost of inflation that will always lead to a bribe. Why did you ever buy into believing in the design? When liberation can take an entire lifetime, providing the almighty dollar from your labor before you die, not exactly leaving a lot of room left to decide. Because you've been living in a lie the entire time, a lie to persuade the cause and effect of humankind. The plan is to keep you weak with ignorance from corruption that's buried deep within your head. It alters the way of your comprehension before getting a chance to understand the way it is. The second you're born, it will wait in position. through the guidance of your parents and education, who will force you to believe in the system, tempting you to do the things it teaches you to be against. The ultimate mindfuck, blaming everything on everyone to force us into separation, the deprived and the privileged, divided within the churches and prisons, creating hate over differences, to lead us into prejudice and discrimination, causing destruction under false confusion, because it's all a bunch of bullshit. You've become nothing more than sheep following the directions from an egotistical, lethargic, and tyrant shepherd. Being distracted and misguided away from the balance of your nature. Since when did life start asking a bunch of questions that needed to be answered? What's the point of living if you're not getting something in return? While creating indulgence with everyone by using possessions as a distraction, so everyone grows to never be satisfied. Why should we even live if you're just going to die? And so it begins within religion. False hope. This goes out to those who want to make a difference in the world. Well, it's been going on as long as differences have been compared, and it's clear that the struggle has always been here. Existence can't exist without its persistence to change the result before it could even begin. It's a vicious cycle that leads into tomorrow's future problems. Retaliation is nature's reaction against its former place within change, so survival can become a natural motivation to prevent any waste. Disposable properties are all within accordance to being recycled again. In the form of creation, to exist without an end. To become is to be given a way to be free, and not weighed down and built up without a breakdown to configure a relief. But then an unnatural display interfered with this way to agree. Disguised as a solution for a problem that didn't even happen. All along the problem was a solution, to be conditioned and unaware, so beware. With the movies, TV shows, music, and literature, people have expressed exactly how the world is supposed to be, reminding us that it can be better, but it never will. As long as they show that it is possible, then there is no need for it to actually happen. There will always be a need to hope for a better world without actually having it. That's what makes this world go around, a manipulation believed by everyone for the greater good that will never be. This is only one example that needs to be changed, until all hope is lost and we find another way. Now think, we need to stop trying to fix the world and start fixing ourselves. Hope is pointless in a world that can take care of itself. Hope spends money on cures that will never happen, even if they have always been there. Hope takes away the possibility for change to even take place. Hope ends before it begins. And without a purpose to even exist, without a way to change or to be replaced, hope will never mean anything as a result to being a mistake. The result. It's time to face the result of our existence by accepting this world for what it really is, the very hell that's been convinced to be the outcome. If we ever went against this poisonous system, has actually become the result of our relations within its creation. So now you're expected to do the best you can in this illusion that we are all trapped in. There's nothing more honest than the results of our actions. This reality is nothing more than a material existence, waiting for the next possibility to become a little bit stronger. A way to evolve through all the unnatural corruption and ignorance, because humanity desires to have the power of creation in the palm of their hand. But only being allowed to make this reality completely based on manipulation, an endless hole where we are all continuously falling. So now it's time to overcome this greatest challenge. and to evolve when we finally reach the end, where there's no right or wrong, no truth or lies, no innocence or guilt, no heaven or hell, and no hope for any God to save us all, because they are all man-made concepts that has evolved, but everyone had a right to believe in it for themselves. The result is what you get out of your life. So live it for yourself. The result accepts everyone for who they are and how they fit in. The result will always benefit everyone's needs, because that's how everything ends before it will begin again. Everything we do is for the result, and we've always followed the result without even realizing it. I'm just making it obvious. People will even feel better about death because of the result. What you don't get out of this life, you will in the next. And that is the point of the result, because you can't escape it no matter what you believe in. You're in it whether you like it or not. It's inevitable. Everything is the result of itself. Reality will always be just materials until everyone sees it for themselves. You can't understand pain until you felt all the pain life has to offer. You can't understand pleasure until you felt all the pleasure life has to offer. Once your flesh dies, your soul desires continued existence, to learn more, just like in flesh. How we seek more of everything, we seek more in spirit, desiring life more and more until it's fulfilled. Then, and only then, you'll have your spiritual birth. To become your true self, a spirit in flesh, when life and death mingle into a slow vibration for all existence, the highest of high and the lowest of low, total perfection without the void. Now your soul can finally experience all the senses without being controlled, because you understand life for what it is. It's like charging your soul's battery. And it's not fulfilled till it reaches 100%. So as a result, we are all left to believe that we've always known this reality as hell, with many different levels to experience. Life is all about living within this manipulation, to experience all that it has to offer, all the pain and all the pleasure, while this reality is full of diversity, corresponding with their own design, trying to connect with those who can help them stabilize. All within their path of understanding. Either you have a slave mentality or you are free, but freedom in this reality is a mind game for everyone, and the point to everything is to live life to overcome any challenges you may experience, because everyone is in it for themselves, including those closest to you. So remember, life is all about experiencing every level until your soul has been fulfilled, to become your true self and achieve a spiritual birth. Otherwise, you will continue in this cycle of materials unless you fix this reality by accepting the people within it. Because unnatural ignorance prevents humanity to advance, and destruction is the result of unnatural corruption within unnatural ignorance. Because the natural is so powerful, it will leave this world of manipulation speechless. Now you will need time to adjust. The end. Believe in yourself and follow the results of your actions so you can make a difference in your life. The rest of the world will follow.